Hi everyone, Prof. Gordon here from Exam Success, and I'm going to walk you through this example that I think you're going to need to handle for your exam. So we've got an investor who purchases a 6% $10,000 bond at a price of 97.5. If the bond matures in 3 years, the approximate yield to maturity is, and we've got four choices. So there's a couple of ways that you can handle this. We can handle this using the financial calculator, which we've got over here. And this is a simple process of just punching it in using the time value of money buttons. So let's start entering this. So first of all, the future value or the face value, that's going to be 100. So we'll put 100 into our calculator. Then the next is to put the price in. So we paid 97.5, but you got to watch out because you got to enter this as a negative number. Otherwise, you're going to get an error in your calculation. You got to tell the calculator inflows and outflows. So we're paying 97.5 to get this bond. All right, let's go to the next. We'll enter the number of periods. You got to assume semi-annual unless you're told differently. 3 years to maturity, semi-annual, six payment periods. So N is six. Then the payment, that's the coupon. That's $6, but it's semi-annual. Divide by two, we get $3 each period. Enter the payment as three. Now we can solve for I, and we end up with 3.687. Be careful because this is semi-annual. That's semi-annual. So we're going to have to multiply by two to get the answer. Multiply by two, and we get the yield to maturity, and we get 6.937. All right, so that's the easy way using the calculator. Now, to get the exact answer for the exam, we're going to have to use the approximate yield to maturity formula. So this formula says the approximate yield to maturity is equal to the interest income plus the price change per compounding period divided by the average of the purchase price and the par value. We'll multiply by 100 to get it into percent. So let's work through this. So the interest income, that's $3. That was the coupon per period. The price change per compounding period. Well, that's the difference between the maturity value, the face value of 100, the price we paid, 97.5, over the number of compounding periods. We have six compounding periods. Remember, 3 times 2, that's 6. So we'll divide all of this by the average of the purchase price and the par value. So this is going to give us 3, which is the interest income. This is now the per period price change. We'll divide this by the average. We get 98.75. And if we follow through on this math, we end up with a 0.0346. Okay, now this is semi-annual. Remember, it's semi-annual, so we're going to have to multiply by 2 to get the approximate yield to maturity. So we end up with 0.0692, or if you multiply by 100, you end up with 6.92. So when we look at these answers, they're very close to each other. And so my advice for you on the exam is look at your answer choices. If they're far enough apart, just use the calculator. We can see the answer here. The answer is C. So we can use our calculator and get the correct answer nice and easy. You don't have to struggle with the formula. If the choices had been very close, you'd have to use the formula. That's the way they're testing you on your knowledge of the formula. Okay, I hope this helped, and we'll end this quick lesson here.